experiences. Thank you, Jamie. I'll have to start, Kitty. I'm delighted, really happy to have all of you here. Um, we had a wonderful time in Tarahumara. So I see and I know that other dear friends are coming in, and all of you are very welcome to Pathways Rotary Club. And Alan, would you be so kind as to introduce your guest?
I have two guests tonight. The first guest I have is Chip Lewis, who's the gentleman in red. Chip followed me as district governor, and he said to me on his first day after he was chosen, if you don't get a cell phone tomorrow, you're in trouble. So he's the reason I have a cell phone today. The other person that's a guest of mine is Nancy Riella, Nancy Wave. Nancy is currently in Mexico. She lives in Connecticut. Well, she's all over the board. But Nancy and I were presidents together 24 years ago. And Nancy was also an assistant governor for both Chip and for me. So, Nancy, welcome to the meeting.
Thank you.
We're delighted to have you, Nancy. Thank you. And where in Mexico are you right now?
Merida.
In Mérida. Oh, I'm so sorry for you that you're enjoying, that luscious, beautiful white city as it is known in all its colorful and traditions and delicious food. Thank you, Nancy, for being here. Yes, yes. And I'd also like to introduce Walt, that's joining us from the Durango Daybreak in Colorado district. And Kevin, would you please introduce your guest, that lovely lady next to you?
Yeah, I actually talked my Connie into joining me for a minute. So this is my wife, Connie, and we celebrated with Eloisa last September, right before our zone meeting, and she cooked us a wonderful meal, and we have developed such a great friendship over that time. So it's been a wonderful time. And then we got to meet Louisa at the zone meeting. So I feel very connected to the group. So thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for being here with us.
Welcome.
And please, our dear Rotarians from south of the border, please raise your hand so that everybody can identify you. That's Humberto, there's Sergio, otherwise known as Mouse, and then from south of the border also, let's see, any other Rotarians? Oh, Martin Martinez, I have to go through the other screen, is also here. And we have the Captar team, and that's our partnering organization, and they have done a tremendous work. That's Luisa Ramos. Please raise your hand, Luisa. Daniel, otherwise known as Danny, and Alvaro. Oh, Aaron is also here from the San Felipe Club. I missed you. And I also like to introduce Leslie Caposi. Leslie Caposi is part of the trip of the team that went to Tarahumara. She went from Florida, from Church of the Palms. So, and I believe Joe Berninger is joining us as well. So, if I am missing somebody, please let me know. Steve Hopper belongs to Heart to Heart, which is which has been Heart to Heart, our great supporters since Global Grant 1. And please, if let me know if we need to introduce somebody else. Thomas Porter, also from North Coast Rotary Club. Thank you for joining us. Lavon from also from the Decatur Daybreak, Alabama. Okay, so I think we're set to go. Thank you all for joining us. And if somebody comes in, please introduce them. Well, number one, I have to always mention the Rotary Foundation, because it's through the Rotary Foundation that we've been able to help support a company make a life-changing, life-saving, have such an impact in Sierra Tarahumara, in native villages, providing clean, potable waters directly to their homes instead of having to walk several kilometers back and forth every day to bring back 2 buckets of contaminated water. So it is my pleasure to welcome all of you. Make yourselves comfortable and get ready to listen to Jamie Wise. Jamie Wise joined Rotary International in April of 2023 and currently serves as president-elect of the North Coast Rotary Club in Northeast Ohio. Through Rotary, she has found a meaningful avenue to continue her lifelong commitment to service and community engagement. Jamie is a retired captain in the United States Navy Nurse Corps, completing a distinguished 30-year career in October of 2019. A native of Cleveland, Ohio, she earned her Bachelor of Science in Nursing from the University of Cincinnati and was commissioned into the Navy shortly thereafter. Over the course of her career, she served in a wide range of clinical, operational, and executive leadership roles around the world, including assignments in Japan, Italy, and abroad, the hospital ship USNS Mercy in support of Operation Desert Storm. She holds a Master of Science in Critical Care Trauma Nursing from the University of Maryland and a Master of Arts in National Security and Strategic Studies from the Naval War College. Her final assignment was as Regional Senior Nurse Executive for Navy Medicine East in Portsmouth, where she provided leadership and oversight for senior nursing leaders across the region. Since returning, Jamie and her husband, Ron, have remained deeply engaged in their community. They have worked closely with refugee families resettling in the Cleveland area and continue to support a variety of local service initiatives. Jamie resides in Avon Lake, Ohio. However, before I hand the microphone over to Jamie, I would just ask all of us to mute our phones so that we can all focus and have no background noises. Pedirles a todos, queridos compañeros rotarios y compañeros de captar, que apaguen sus micrófonos, los pongan en silencio para que no tengamos algunos sonidos que se interpongan en la conferencia plática de Jamie. Jamie, it's a delight to have you here with us. I know that you have been working on this PowerPoint presentation, and for that, I'm very, very grateful, and I'm very proud that to say that Rotary has allowed us to become friends, to be closer, and to have shared such a wonderful experience. So without further ado, before I hand it out, there's Manuel. Manuel, please raise your hand, wave. Manuel is the current president of the Chihuahua Campestre Rotary Club, and they're going to be the host clubs for Global Grant 4, as San Felipe are the sponsors of Global Grant 3. So all of you are warmly welcomed. Jamie, it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eloisa. So I'll start. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see here. Let me pull up my presentation. You guys can see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. All right, thank you so much, Eloisa. And thank you all for being here and joining us tonight to hear about what I would probably call one of the top experiences in my 3 years as a Rotarian, which is marked by this month. So I've had some amazing experiences in the Rotary, but this was one of the biggest highlights. And I did this presentation in January for my club, North Coast Rotary, and I really felt like I wanted to bring it to my club and to others so they could really, through our experience, those of you that are on that in the United States and our friends in Mexico that joined us. And if you have a comment, please don't hesitate to jump in, and I'll definitely hand it over for your comments at the end as well. But this was just an amazing experience, and I wanted to share it and share it with my club and share it with our district and other Rotarians. So I really appreciate this opportunity. And if you'll just indulge me, I wanted to talk about how I found myself in the Sierra Tarahumara in the middle of the rugged mountain range, what brought me to that point. And it started with the first district conference I attended in Maumee, and I was there, and the keynote speaker was Eloisa, and she was talking about her work in Chihuahua, and I was very moved by that. And after that, that was in like April of 24, and after that, I went up to her and introduced myself and said, I just would love to be a part of this. This is what Rotary is. This is what Rotary means to me. And so we had this wonderful exchange. And then fast forward probably till July of 2025, just this past July. I live in Ohio, and I have my family, a lot of my family is from Fremont, and I was at a family reunion we do every 2 years. And Ron and I, my husband, we just got back from the international convention, my first in Calgary, and I was really excited about that and telling one of my cousins, and one of my other cousins overheard me and said, "Did I hear you're in the Rotary?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Well, you should talk to Kim Carr's husband, Ed. He's a Rotarian too." And I had no idea. And so I talked to Ed, and that's how we connect, and found out he's also a fellow veteran from the Marine Corps. And we had this wonderful conversation. And he too went to Calgary, and I didn't know that. So in the following month, in August, Jen Miller, who's from our club, she's on this call as well. And she's coming up on a year as a Rotarian, but she wanted to go to the Zone Conference. It was in Columbus this year. And she asked if I'd be interested. And we decided to go to the 1 day Saturday that was open for people that may not have been able to go for the entire week. And so we went to the Zone Conference, and so our district, and many of you are familiar with MESA, the Medical Equipment and Supplies Abroad. And we went to a MESA brief, and Andy Bone was there, and they had 3 different countries, and who is there but Eloisa? And I was like, I think this is the same woman that I talked to 2 years ago, but wasn't 100% sure, but I'm like pretty sure. And I went and introduced myself, and there she was with Louisa, and we reconnected. And she's like, "We are getting ready to go to Chihuahua, and would you like to go?" And so I'm like, "Absolutely, I would love that." And so she sent us an invitation, and I looked at it and talked to my husband, and he found out, well, he was very familiar with the Copper Canyon, which I actually wasn't, and which is kind of the equivalent of our Grand Canyon, but probably bigger. And he saw that, and oh, this sounds wonderful. Let's go. And so the only reservation that I had with that was, of course, safety concerns, especially that we don't live over there and we don't really know the area. And so I sent Eloisa a message, and she and Louisa had a wonderful response to reassure me, but also to respect if we decided not to go. But I felt pretty comfortable based on her response. And I know Leslie Capozzi, who I'll talk about a little more in this brief, but we had similar concerns. And so we did go with some trepidation, but I trust Eloisa and I trust the team. And so we decided to go. And Eloise sending out a coordination email to all of us that are going to go. And I'm not sure who else is going. And then I see a message from Ed Carr responding to her email. And that's when I found out that my cousin Ed is with the Daybreak Decatur Club, who is the U.S. international host. So that's kind of how this all transpired and why and what led to this incredible adventure. And with that kind of intro, I'm going to move into the presentation. And I mentioned that I went to Calgary for the international conference and got to hear Francesco Arezzo speak, who had about 2 weeks notice that he would be the Rotary International president. And he put this quote out. He mentioned he was talking about peace. And as he was talking about peace, he started tying that in with providing clean drinking water and sanitation when there is none, and that's working for peace. And that really, really resonated with me. So it was an absolutely wonderful conference, but I really felt this was a great way to kind of tie it in with that larger peace mission. So for this brief, what I want to do is give you a little bit of a background and overview of the Global Grant Project, and then discuss the highlights of our trip to Sierra Tarahumara and the experience meeting other Rotarians, and then to really enhance awareness and support for phase 4 of the Global Grant. So where is Sierra Tarahumara? Well, it is actually located in the state of Chihuahua, and there is the city of Chihuahua, which we flew into, but this is the state of Chihuahua, and it's in the Sierra Madre Occidental Mountain Range, and it's a very rugged region known for high sierra and deep canyons, and it is famous for the Copper Canyon and also the traditional home of our indigenous Tarahumara or Ravamori people. So gives you an idea of kind of where it is. And so I wanted to kind of frame this as in terms of the scope of the problem that kind of drives the global grant and drives these multiple partnerships that have come together. And as you see, more than 70% of individuals in these areas do not have direct access to plumbed water, pipe water within their homes. And as Eloisa mentioned in her in the beginning, is many of them have to walk several kilometers to bring water home to their families, and that results in, because it's not clean water, it results in at least one case of water-related illnesses each month. So that is the driving force behind this global grant. And so whenever, for those of you that have not been involved in a global grant, whenever you do apply, it has to align with one of Rotary's 7 areas of focus. And one of those is water, sanitation, and hygiene. So that's the area of focus that this particular project, Dancing for Rain, falls into. And of course, this is really when people have access to clean water that we tend to take for granted. And you'll see, I'll talk a little bit about Leslie Capozzi's journal, but she really brings this out. But that's something, when you have clean water and access it, you tend to take it for granted. And when you don't, but for our rural indigenous people that don't have this access, if once you give it to them, they have less disease, or children are able to stay healthy and attend school regularly, and the moms can spend less time carrying the water and more time caring for their families. So that's what it's all about. And certainly the goal of this whole initiative is to increase the standard of the quality of life and standard of living among the Raramori, so that they can have access to clean water. And certainly this generates a multiplier effect. Raramori, that is translates to light feet or running foot, and this is a indigenous culture that has a history and are known for their running and practices and whatnot. So I wanted to show you just this lovely picture with the kids and holding up the Rotary sign for check. We don't have Kaptar in there, but that's what it's all about. And this is the end game here. Okay, so this is a little bit of a busy slide, but I just wanted to go through this particular global grant has evolved into 4 phases, and phase 1 and phase 2 are completed, but I just want to kind of go through a couple things here. In phase 1, that was the beginning, and they installed 160 water harvest systems. And I want to make the point that one of the things I thought when I was getting into this was the water harvest system would service a village, and that's not the case. It's actually for a family. So 160 water harvest systems installed for 720 beneficiaries. And then they fortunately had some additional funding to support an additional 101 units. So we had the Chihuahua Campestre Club was the Mexico host out of District 4110. And then the U.S. sponsoring Rotary Club was Pathways. So going into phase 2, and phase 2 is the phase we were when we did the site visit and the installation, phase 2 was still ongoing. And so although they installed 241 water harvest systems, we were part of one. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. And then you have the San Felipe Club was kind enough to be the Mexico host. And then Ed's Club and his team with Decatur Daybreak with District 6860 in Alabama. They were the U.S. sponsoring club. So phase 3, the global grant application has been submitted to the Rotary Foundation and is being reviewed for approval. But there you can see the targets there, and Chihuahua San Felipe will be the Mexico host with Pathways as the U.S. sponsoring. And then with phase 4, they're just gearing up that application and funding is in progress. And again, the targets are 47 systems with 188 beneficiaries. And Chihuahua Campestre will again be the Mexico host with the Decatur Daybreak Club doing the U.S. hosting. So that's kind of an overview of the global grant. And if you look at the picture on the right, Together We Connect, that's Ed and doing kind of preparing the PVC pipe, and below is Charles. And I think behind Ed is Levon. So we've got the 3 amigos there in these 2 pictures. All right, so I just want to talk a little bit about the key agencies and stakeholders. And like in the center of this, of course, is the Raramore, the indigenous community in Sierra Tarahumara. That is the reason for this entire project. And then CapTAR is just wonderful. And my husband and I got to know Hugo, the president, and then Luisa, who really have done an amazing job. They are really taking care of the logistics and making this happen. We've got Danny is on board online, and he was the expert in the installation. Some of these guys that they are really making things happen. So, and then you have Eloisa with Creation Care International, and kind of dual-hatted as the president of Creation Care International and then Rotary's Pathway. And I think the 2 of them combined, when you think of the Rotary Wheel, I'm looking at all these different support systems that are the spokes, but between CapTAR and Creation Care and of course the foundation, the Rotary Foundation, that's what really moves that Rotary Wheel and makes this happen. And that's just really important. And I'm really thankful for the wonderful partnership that they have developed and that we got to experience firsthand on this site visit. Chihuahua in Fachek. This is business leaders of Chihuahua building community. And so you're going to see in future slides, I'll talk a little bit about the impact of Chihuahua and Fachek in making things happen. And then Nicola Nakabe, we're going to see a video from him at the end. And our friend Leslie Capozzi is from Church of Palms. We'll talk a little bit more about them, but they have been extremely supportive of this. And then you can see the Rotary International, the clubs that have totally supported these installations in all phases of the global grant. Okay, so this slide just shows you the Rotarians that were part of the site visit from Mexico and also the United States. And if you look at the picture with the Chihuahua after our meeting with the San Felipe Club, a couple of the guys were so kind to take us downtown and give us a tour of Chihuahua, the city, and the dog is named after the city, and I thought that was so cute. So that's a beautiful picture that is in the city of Chihuahua. And then at the lower right, that's Ed and I. Ed and I connected. A number of us flew into Dallas Fort Worth, and then we were on the same flight from Dallas Fort Worth to Chihuahua City. So that's Ed and I connecting in Dallas Fort Worth on our way to Chihuahua City. Okay, so here's day one, a little bit about the trip, and and I will tell you when you're going to a foreign country and then you're not really sure about the safety situation and seeing Eloisa's face and Luisa greeting you at the airport and giving you a big hug is just like a wonderful way to start this journey. And they made sure we were fed, we had everything we needed, we had our accommodations, and that was just awesome. And once we got settled, the San Felipe Club hosted us at a meeting and a dinner. And so I can't tell you, and I just love my fellow Rotarians south of the border, as Eloisa said. They greeted us, every single one of them came up and shook our hand and looked us in the face and welcomed us. And it was just this wonderful hospitality. We were just totally overcome. And they were all dressed, you can see in the picture here, from with the button-down shirts, and they had the Rotary logo, and they had their nicknames, which Eloisa was talking about. They all have nicknames after pretty common American cartoon characters. So I got to know Mouse and Elmer and Casper and Bambino, and we just had a lot of fun. And I have to admit that some of these guys, I don't know their real name. when Eloisa referred to Umberto, and I was like, "Who's that?" I was like, "Oh, that's Bambino." So just an amazing, amazing group. And we had a meeting, and I was so impressed because a number of them are physicians and they do a lot of medical projects. And they did one, they were talking about a project that they did with helping children to get heart surgery, and another with access to wheelchairs. And I just was shocked at the impactful things they're doing just in the local community, not to mention what they're doing for this rural indigenous community. So it was absolutely a wonderful evening getting together and meeting with our team. And I believe they had the assistant mayor that attended and our friends from the Campestre Club as well. Overall, just an incredible time. And one of the things that kind of struck me as we were meeting was that they're all men. I was like, wait, where are the women? And so I learned that Chihuahua, the state of Chihuahua, has 9 clubs, 9 Rotary clubs, and 6 of them are all men, 2 of them are all women, and then there's 1 combined. And we're going to get to meet 2 more on this journey, but that is just a little bit of a nuance that's different from how we do things. But it was just wonderful. And I believe that their wives and their spouses are very supportive as well in this endeavor. So, okay, so when we arrived in Chihuahua, it's 6 hours from Chihuahua to the actual site. So the drive was broken up we stopped at the 3-hour mark. And of course, because we couldn't pass the beautiful Copper Canyon area that our host so graciously took us to. So we had a 6-vehicle caravan to the city of Creel. And so when we got there, it was amazing. We had this, and I'm not sure, I thought I saw Ugo online. He is the president of Captar, but I'm not sure. The lodge that we stayed at was just amazing. And I understand that Ugo had some connections there. But we were expecting modest accommodations, and we felt maybe a little guilty, but it was just absolutely wonderful. We were delighted, and they proceeded, we had some lunch, and then they proceeded to take us to explore the Copper Canyon. And if you look over, that was about a 45-minute drive in Ugo, and on the way, my husband and I were in the truck with Ugo, and so he was telling us about what to expect, and he said there's a lodge there that has a beautiful view. We're going to take a look at that, and then we're going to hire some of the young Raramori children to take us for a hike, and so we're all excited. And that picture to the right is my husband in the Copper Canyon, and Ed Carr. He had a better camera than I did. I was using my phone, and I'm like, Ed, would you take a picture of my husband? And it just turned out spectacular. But that was just an absolutely amazing visit. And then we went hiking, and two of the young Raramori girls were able to guide us around. They lived very close by, and actually showed us their home. And that was just absolutely magical. So we had a beautiful start to the trip, and a beautiful tour of the Copper Canyon. But that wasn't all. That evening, there are two uh, Rotary clubs in Creole. And one is all male and one is all female. And we were invited to join them for a combined meeting. And it was held in a cave. And so this is what the cave looks like, a picture. And you see, it was a little bit chilly, so they had some heaters out there, but it was just incredibly impressive. And that picture up in the right, that's the chapel. I think Umbi took us there and was able to take a picture of us. And that was wonderful. And both presidents of the club, and I have to say, these guys were young. They're younger, they're busy, they have young families, they're working, and they're also engaged with Rotary. So they're busy making a difference in Creole. And they each presented, and they had their presentation was to how the details of how they were going to build a fire station and get a fire truck, because they really don't have that capability out there, but they have the threat of fires. And I think Leslie, even in her journal, talked about one of the women that presented that was talking about how they lost someone to a fire because they just didn't have any capability. So you have to start somewhere, and my hat's off to them taking on that project. But we were very, very impressed. Afterwards, they took us to another facility nearby that was fixed, and we were treated to a dinner of tamales, which were probably the best I've ever had, and some warm drinks, and just had wonderful fellowship with them. It was just an incredible evening. Okay, so now we're into day 3 of the trip, and this is the day we will arrive to our site. This is, it's going to be a 3-hour trip, and we're again going back in a 6-vehicle caravan to Arimoibo. And the first hour and a half was paved. Then the second hour and a half were on really rough roads. So probably maybe could have taken 15, 20 minutes, but because the roads were so bad. But we were lucky because we had Ugo driving, and he managed to get in front of Speedy Gonzalez Danny. And so we were able to avoid all the dust that gets kicked up by having a vehicle in front of you. But we caravaned through, we got onto the site, and we got there around noon. So for this evolution happens in about 3 hours. And I'm going to show you some more pictures. But as we get on site, you'll see the guys are on the roof getting ready to install that. And we'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of that in this slide. So, and step number 1 is to install those wooden planks so you can actually install the metal corrugated roofing. And so you see see that's Umbi. There you've got Charles and Levon, all in there. And of course, if you notice the white button-down shirt, our friends from the San Felipe Club, they have black shirts. They all were wearing white shirts buttoned down this trip. And so and he was like, well, maybe I should have wore the black one. Well, that was might have been kind of hot, but this was the first part of this evolution. And then you can see on the left, they're installing the corrugated metal roofing, and that's really important so the water can flow towards the PVC piping. That's that middle slide, and that's my husband Ron in the front. Leslie is behind him, and then over to the left, you see Ed and Levon going ahead and preparing the PVC piping that will eventually get fixed. So affixed over to the metal corrugated roofing that you see. So they're installing the PVC piping over to the right, and then that's my husband and I in the front there. Okay, so while all this is going on, I was wondering, well, how are we going to do food? Because it's not like you have water, running water, or cooking facilities, and how's this all going to happen? And so feeding a village, this massive wheel over a fire, and they're all going to have tacos, and they've got drinks and I think chips and all kinds of things. So I was truly impressed with how our friends pulled this off to feed a village, and it was very, very inspiring, and the food was absolutely delicious. So we're feeding the village, and we're also engaging the villagers, and you'll see Kaptar and Eloisa and so many of our Rotarians brought things for the Raramore, and you'll see that middle picture is the distribution of these therapeutic supplemental packs that are aimed to decrease malnutrition, and the kids are very familiar with these, and we're very eager to receive them. And Eloisa let me taste one, and they actually kind of taste like peanut butter. They taste pretty good, but that was a donation from Church of the Palms. Leslie Capose's, her church, they donated those, and so we're very thankful for this partnership, and I know that the Raramori are as well. And then that photo on the right lower, we're going to talk a little bit more about Alex, who is our exchange student from Brazil. And Eloisa is a master at engaging the village, and she understands the culture, she understands the protocol, and she was just a master. So it was just really heartwarming to be witness to that. Okay, so here is the final product. And this slide on the left, it actually isn't from our site visit, but why I wanted this slide because it had the water storage container showing Fitchek and Rotary and Kaptar and so, but you can see on the right is the actual system that we installed that day, and you'll see at the top there's a filter that was installed, and at the very bottom there's a wicket, a spigot, a wicket, a widget, a spigot, and so that they can access the water. So I do want to make the point about sustainability. This isn't something that Rotary installed. This isn't something that Kaptar installed. And Kaptar is kind of pivotal in this. This was installed with the help of Rotary, Kaptar, and the village and the family that resides there. And sustainability is extremely important. And, you know, to apply for these grants, you have to be able to show that this is a sustainable project, because if something comes loose, or they have to know how to repair it. And also the water, in terms of we were doing this in November, and so we were thinking it's going to start snowing November, December. So they're going to start to see some water. They don't get a lot of water, but I believe the rainy season's like July, August, and September. But so they want to make sure it's working so they can make sure that the collection system is good for the little water that they do get. And then certainly, I think Danny and the crew from Captar go back just to make sure everything is on track and that it's all set up and working as it should. But having that partnership with our Raramuri friends is critical in this effort.
Hey, Jamie, can I make one comment?
Please do.
We all kind of expected there to be power tools and a hammer or nail guns and all this kind of sophisticated equipment to be able to install this stuff. And I just want to emphasize that one of the sustainability issues was this is all done by hand tools, and it's so simple yet so effective. It's brilliant, and just to see it go together and know that the people there can maintain it because it's all with materials that they could access. So just want to make that point.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ed. I appreciate you bringing that because my husband was, that saw was not very sharp when they're trying to saw the PVC piping. And my husband's like, what skips? And what we saw there was a structure with 2 solar panels, and Leslie actually went into that villager's house, and so they did have some electricity, but as Ed said, they want to keep it simple because tools break and you don't want to be relying on something and they're in the middle of a very rural area and may not be able to get access to fix it. And so you definitely want to keep that simple. I appreciate you making that point, Ed. So on days 4 and 5, so we finished up and we go back to our lodge, and then I wanted to bring up though, this is that picture of Alex. This is our exchange student from Brazil, and what is so incredibly impressive about Alex, and I found out from Eloisa, is he actually started an Interact club at the high school in Creole. So I mean, that just warms my heart, and he was so gracious and it was so good to meet him, and he gave us all pins, and he actually is going to do a friendship Rotary exchange with Leslie and Sarah in Sarasota, and I think Bob and Linda Cook, I think Eloisa, Bob and Linda Cook are also going to support that effort. And we just had that conversation yesterday, and I said, well, if he wants to see Cleveland, we can take him too. So we can work on that. But just a really, really impressive young man, and so good to meet him, and so good to see the wonderful work he's doing in Creole. And then that picture to the right, I talked about our wonderful hike through the Copper Canyon. These are the 2 young ladies with Leslie that accompanied us, and it was just an incredible experience. But meeting Leslie was just awesome. The Church of the Palms does wonderful work, and she is definitely a humanitarian by heart, and has a wonderful heart, as so many others that I got to meet there did. And so it was truly an amazing experience. Okay, so now we're back into the phases. That was kind of a trip overview. And we are into phase 4. When I presented this to my club, I was talking about the way forward for phase 3, and that was just in January. So a lot of good work has been happening since that time. And I'm glad to hear that the sponsoring club will be my cousin Ed's club, Decatur Daybreak, and then the Mexico host will be our friends at Chihuahua Campestre, and that's District 4110. And so you see I think we talked a little bit about the number of water harvest systems, and this is currently in the funding stage. You can see that's the project budget, and below is the current pledges. I'm pretty amazed with the pledge from District 6860. That is really heartwarming, and from Campestre, and we're waiting on some of the other areas. I don't know, Eloisa, if we've heard from 6780, said that was to be announced, and I know New Bremen, Knoxville, and 6600 and Pathways have been huge contributors, and that's really inspiring to me, as the slide to the right says. And then, of course, any district designated funds or club or individual pledges are welcome in support of this initiative.
And Jamie, if I could give us again,
Sure.
the District 6860 it was so serendipitous that the call for phase 4 came out, and Butler Kane, our district governor, actually had some DDF that he hadn't used yet because another club was going to do a global grant,
Oh,
and
wow.
it fell through. So he had a whole bunch of DDF in this year's money, this year's DDF. Normally, you're thinking a year in advance,
Sure.
and so he was able to give us that $26,000 pledge out of his year, and
Unbelievable.
so we've really accelerated the process.
Yeah, I was wondering, I'm like, where did they get that? That's wonderful, Ed. Thank you so much for that addition. Well, okay, so, and I talked about partnerships, and I just wanted to bring up, and I had Luisa and Eloisa sent me this slide. And this is really a wonderful depiction of the engagement and partnerships with local and regional stakeholders, including FitCheck. And as you see, so how this kind of progressed is that that first line, the Creation Care International Project, that was the pilot, and that's out of Eloisa kind of getting this started. And if I'm correct, Eloisa, that my understanding is that the Church of the Palms actually contributed $10,000 to that pilot. Am I right there?
Yes, we had a donor from Church of the Palms that pledged $10,000 in Creation Care, which, by the way, has three Rotary members as board members, also contributed. And then we matched that amount with Captar that also had some funds. And then Luisa took the next step and she negotiated a co-investment, an additional support from the Businessman's Foundation of 69%. So it went from having
Amazing.
$24,000 to a total amount of $80,000. And instead of doing 15 families, we were able to serve 50 families. And that keeps going in the next grants.
And you can see, so, the next line there is now we're into the actual global grant phase 1, and you see where the co-investment there bumps it up to almost 400K. It's just heartwarming that to see that a generosity from the check and the partnership there. And then the additional clubs cash project, that was for the additional 101 units. And then you can see again with phase 2, where they started and the co-investment and how powerful that is with that partnership. And that's truly what it's all about. Phase 3, they're still working to hear, they're still waiting to hear from the foundation. And then eventually, once phase 4 is on its way, that'll be added to this chart. But it's just truly a wonderful investment that is impacted so many lives. And it's just the impact is, I think, and Eloisa, correct me if I'm wrong, but to install one of the water harvest systems, it would cost about 2,000 US dollars. Is that correct? And so
That's 2,300,
$2,300.
$2,300
So
approximately.
and that impacts a family for a lifetime. So really, truly, our money goes a long way in this project, and that's just wonderful. Okay, so I had to bring up a Mesa slide. This is our District 6600. And again, if you're not familiar, it's medical equipment and supplies abroad. And our club is very involved in collecting equipment for Mesa, but here we have equipment that was delivered to Mexico, Chihuahua. And so they are also, and again, that is how I kind of connected through that Mesa brief with Eloisa. So I'm so excited that this equipment is not going in a junkyard, that it's actually can be used in our clinics overseas. Okay, and so I talked a little bit, I mentioned Nicola Anakabe, and he is the photographer, videographer that accompanied us on this trip. And I found out from Eloisa in the past, he has absolutely done this free of charge, but he did a wonderful job taking pictures, taking photo coverage. At one point, I think he was in the back of the truck when it was really, really bumpy on our bumpy. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to last long. Oh, I'm going to be interested to see how long this lasts. But I want to show you this video and what the incredible work that he has done and such a generous spirit. So hopefully it works. It worked before. So here we go. And tell me, can you hear?
Los rarámuris somos un pueblo originario del estado de Chihuahua. Tienen sus aguajes a más de 2, 3 horas.
Young people having to walk sometimes nearly 2 hours. It touched my heart, and I was very excited when Ed asked me would I come.
And when this opportunity came up, we took it, and now we're here to see the implementation of our global grant for the Tarahumara people. The system is helping to get the water from the rain and filter that and get it into containers to be able to drink the water.
Is to see the people of the Tarahumara. We understand so much more about this project by coming here to Mexico. It was a difficult journey. Even in modern vehicles, it was very difficult. So I can only imagine the difficulty these people have.
Pues sí es muy difícil el tema de la salud porque una diarrea se te puede complicar y ocasionar una muerte en la niñez.
It shows how many people, Rotary is an international, worldwide organization, and we touch the lives of so many people.
This has been a great experience. First of all, to know the people from the community, to understand what their needs are.
The motto of Rotary is service above self. And that just means that we try to put the needs of others ahead of our own needs where possible.
And now we see the opportunities for phase 3, which is going to extend this opportunity in these facilities to another community. Todas esas acciones abonan a que tengas una mejor calidad de vida. We are creating a great friendship, and hopefully we'll be supporting other projects in the future.
I think we're out here with the Tarahumara Indians, helping them. It's just amazing.
Pues darle las gracias que hicieron el posible de venir hasta acá y traer ese apoyo a todas las personas que en verdad lo están necesitando.
So I'm proud of Rotary International and the job it does in supporting projects like this, and we're grateful for them funding our grant.
And I want to add one other thing. And Leslie told me when we were out there that she was working on a journal. And and that she would share it with me, and we were all sharing pictures and to try to capture this amazing experience. And she did this journal, and it's just amazing. And so there's a whole nother perspective from her that is so deeply touching. And so if you are interested, number one, the next site visit is scheduled for November 11th to the 15th. And I've got Eloisa's email for those that might be interested. But certainly, if that is something you would like to see, Leslie's journal is such a wonderful read to kind of get another sense, another perspective. And so thank you, Leslie, for sharing that with us. Thank you, Eloisa and Luisa, and all my wonderful Rotarian friends in Mexico and here in the States. And thank you all for sharing this experience with us. And I am going to open it up for questions, comments from our fellow Ed and your team, or any of you guys that, Umberto, any of you guys that would like to comment on the experience.
Well, Jamie, this is Ed. I'll chip in here real quick. Maybe Levon has something, but we talk about being joining Rotary and being a Rotarian, and this is the kind of experience that makes you a Rotarian in your heart, in your mind, when you can see the good that we can do in the world for these people. That's all I got.
I agree totally. Thank you.
Thank you. Jamie, would you please turn the slide, thank you. And maybe we can see here somebody else, maybe Lavon, were you going to say something? Oh, and Umberto, please raise your hands. Yes, Umbi,
Sure.
Bambino.
Jamie, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation.
You're welcome.
And just one slight comment. You said there was 9 Rotary clubs in the state of Chihuahua. No, there's 9 clubs just in the city of Chihuahua.
Oh, okay.
Juarez has 11 clubs.
Wow.
Creel has another 2, and Mouse, if you're there, I don't know how many in the state of Chihuahua. There's probably 20 something or 30. I'm not sure, but 9 in the state of Chihuahua, in the city.
Okay, thank you for that correction. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Also, I wanted to thank Leslie Capozzi, because she got so involved. Even she was not a Rotarian when she came. She was struck by the Rotary Club in the young women in Creel. And she started sending me a whole bunch of her ideas with her experience in California. And also she sent me a lot of hard copy materials to forward to them. And they now have it, and they're very grateful, Leslie. Thank you so very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Wonderful.
I have to say, when I was there, one of the things that really touched my heart was while everybody was working, I was kind of playing with the kids, and I have asthma, and I was coughing and coughing, and the little girl ran in the house and grabbed me a glass of water. And of course, I looked at that water going, okay, I should be polite, but it could kill me, but I'll drink it. And I drank it, and then I was still coughing. So she went in the house and she got 2 gumballs, and she put one in her mouth. And because I'm kind of looking at it going, what is this? I didn't really know what it was. And I put it in my mouth. And I went and asked Eloisa, I'm like, explain to me what's going on? And she said, they share whatever they have with whoever is there. And I mean, it is so kind. It was such a teaching that I just wish we could all be like that in this country, because it just broke my heart, but it just made me so happy. So if you ever get a chance to go there, they are just wonderful people. A little bit skittish at the beginning, but once they feel comfortable around you, I mean, they were leading me in their house, and of course they're hugging with me, and we're playing games, and they're just amazing people. So thank you, Eloisa, for giving me the opportunity to come, because it was amazing. Yes, they are amazing. Aaron, did I see your hand up? Yes.
Yes,
please.
thank you, Eloisa. Well, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all for helping on this project. It was amazing. It's been amazing. And well, I just want to, I don't know if I mentioned to any of you when you were down in Chihuahua, but my grandmother is from the same municipality where Araimbo is. It's only a couple of hours farther still from the place we went to. She was from Temoris, the capital of the same municipality. So she passed away a year ago, but I had a chance to tell her that we were going to do this project. She was so happy because she knows, or she knew, how difficult it is to get water and to get supplies and to get almost anything to those people at the Sierra Tarahumara. So thank you. From the heart. It's been great working with you. Hopefully, we'll see you again in the next project. I invite all of you that have not been here to come. We will make sure that you're safe. Don't worry about it. And it is a great experience. And I just want to thank everyone for helping.
Thank you, Aaron. I see that Walt has his hand up.
Yeah, Jamie, very nice presentation, and thank you.
Thank you.
My personal travel plans in November are actually starting to center around attending the project demonstration that you have for the 11th through the 15th. The question I have, and maybe the Chihuahua individuals would be the ones to answer this, is what is the scope of the endless, I would imagine almost an endless scope of need for this in terms of the number of households that are unmet and that can still in the future benefit from such type of installations.
I'm going to intervene here because I think that the person that might have that number, Walt, because she and the team spend more time and they have been working and doing these projects for quite a while, is Luisa. So Luisa, Walt would like to know how many more water harvests do we need to install? You know, what's the size, the scope of this project? I know that it's hard to have an exact number, but maybe you could give us an estimate.
Yeah, are we talking thousands of homes still yet that could benefit and do this, or is it just in the hundreds or even just tens?
Enciende tu micrófono, Luisa.
Yeah. Well, the Sierra Tarahumara have approximately 1,000, no.
Maybe I can help. 160,000? 160,000?
80. No, 80.
180,000
100,000 raramuris. And we attend about 40,000 people, raramuris. And the scope is a lot.
Thank you, Luisa.
So possibly a lot of work in the future that could be done.
Yeah, we received I don't know how to say request from the communities in the year about 5,000 requests from the communities.
Oh.
Every year.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there's a qualification process, but nonetheless, that's a good indication of the scope of the need.
Yeah.
A lot of work left to be done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Good, wholesome work that helps the families. Absolutely. I very much enjoyed being a part of this. Thank you to Ed Carr for the invitation and for working so diligently on the grants that funded this. Eloisa and everyone in Mexico, everyone I crossed paths with on this trip were very humble, made me feel like a guest. Recently, I had the opportunity to host some Harvard students, and they asked me what it was I hope that they um, experienced during their time with our club here in Decatur, and it was Southern hospitality. Well, it also exists in Mexico as well. The hospitality that I experienced there was bar none. I, as not knowing the language, I never felt out of place. Everyone I crossed paths with were just incredibly helpful and willing to help with anything that I could think of. And I very much enjoyed my time there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lavon. I see that Manuel, the president of the Campestre Rotary Club, has his hand up. Adelante, Manuel.
Gracias, Luisa. Hi, everyone. It's really a pleasure for me to say hi to all of you from Chihuahua, Mexico. I just want to say thank you for your work. Thank you for believing, and thank you to help us to our problems in Sierra Tarahumara. There are only one way to feel the things, and you need to live them. We can send you videos, speeches, but the only way that you can experience the real work and the real feelings and the partnerships and all these kind of things, it's you need to came to Chihuahua. You need to live the experience of visiting these municipalities. There are two kinds of benefits in this trip. One, to know the work we are putting money in. That is a very important thing, that you can see from yourself that the money you all helping us is in good hands. But the second thing that you need to live is the Rotary partnership. And the Rotary partnership is one of the is the only way for me to be a Rotary member. Captar and the Rotary clubs in Chihuahua are working very hard to receive you, and you need to know that if something is going to not be safe for you or for us, we are not going to take you to that places. You need to feel uh, tranquilo. How can I say? You need to be
At ease.
at ease. That we are not to expose you to something. We are going to take you to see, to live, to come by, to work in a safe area and with good people. And you need to eat and you need to drink the things that we have in Chihuahua and in Mexico. And I'm going to end my participation with this. Every year, Rotary have a theme. This year was United for the Good, and it was a perfect theme for this year. Last year was the magic of Rotary, and the next year it's also a great theme. It's the opportunity that we have to live Rotary, to grow Rotary, and to change the world. This is the job that we accept free, and no one says to us, or you know to go, you need to go to Rotary, you need to help. No, 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 no. It's by ourselves. We are in Rotary by ourselves, and this is a perfect project. It's one of the 7 Rotary areas, and I really want to say thank you for believing in Rotary Campestre Club to make these administration things for the Global Grant 4. And I am Manuel Lopez. You have another house here in Chihuahua with me and my family. Uh, my club is door opens to all of you. And I'm glad to see that there are so many people interested in this Zoom. And Eloisa and Luisa, congrats for you. And thank you for making me part of this. Thank you.
Thank you as well, Manuel. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry for my English.
No, 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 no. You're doing great. So if you have any questions for Jamie, for Luisa, for myself, if somebody else would like to say something, you're
like to say something.
yes, Chip.
I would just say that I was district governor in Connecticut 20 years ago. I'm about to be 85 years old, and this brings back lots of memories of the theme for my year was clean world water around the world. And I'm so glad to see that it's still active and going on around the world. And I applaud you all for what you're doing and what effect it's going to have on the people around you. I think it's super. Thank you.
Thank you, Chip. Well, while somebody else might raise their hands, I would like to thank Steve Hopper, that's representing Heart to Heart. We have received amazing support from heart to heart. There's so many districts involved from the heart of the United States that want to make a difference in the lives of people in Mexico that need support. So please express our gratitude, our heartfelt, it's just beyond what we feel in our hearts for all that support, Steve, that we've been able to get. And of course, to the Rotary Foundation. If somebody
Thank
else
you.
would,
Thank
yes,
you,
go ahead.
Eloisa. I really appreciated being invited to your program tonight. I'm totally impressed with the teamwork you've shown, the support you have. The pictures were amazing. I think our heart-to-heart pilgrimage this November is going to coincide with the dates that you've outlined, but we appreciate being included in this, and I will certainly pass along my enthusiasm for what I saw to our participants. So thank you. Thanks, everyone. Great job.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.